Hey, you know who it is. It's Zeus Cruz of Olympian Multimedia giving you another segment of Get Things Done. In this segment, we're going to be elaborating on a past video. I've actually had quite a few people email me, talk to me about kind of expanding on this video that we did with my good friend, Sandrea Flowers. Shout out to Sandy. We did a segment called Balancing Two Lives. If you haven't checked it out on the Olympian Multimedia YouTube channel, definitely check it out. I will put the link in the description below. But when we were discussing with that video, it's the essence of you having a day job, in turn trying to operate a business as well. It could definitely be strenuous. It could definitely be overwhelming at times, but it is possible. We're going to take it a step further today, and we're going to be discussing how to go about managing your day job with trying to construct a media business. As you know, Olympian Multimedia is all about media, all the different facets about it. So I just wanted to give you guys out there who are looking to start their media business just a few points or just a few things to keep in mind as you're trying to develop it. First and foremost, when you're deciding that you want to start a media business, you definitely want to come up with this, thinking about your logo and your theme and a moniker. As you know, with Olympian Multimedia, our moniker is you design, we create, right? And then we have the simple logo. It shows the different components that is associated with Olympian Multimedia, right? You see the camera, you see the mic that's on there to show that we do the music production. Beautiful, you know what I mean? So you definitely want to keep that in mind as far as, oh, that's right. Thank you for my videographer, Nani the artist. As you can see on there, that's the logo, colorful, but it's straight to the point. You definitely want people, when they're looking at your logo, to get a quick understanding of what your business is about. You don't want to make it overly complicated, right? If you need a little bit more inspiration, just look at the different commercials that you see on television. The bigger corporations, they tend to make everything very simplistic. Remember, simple is more, right? Less is more. So something striking, appealing to people, but at the same time, they get a quick understanding of what you got going on within your business. Those are the things that you want to keep in mind as far as developing your logo. From there, you need to do some extensive research. I advocate this a lot in a lot of past videos. You have to do your research for two main components. The first one being you need to get to understanding of your target audience. What kind of clientele do you want for your business? From there, you need to gauge the demographics as far as where you live at, right? To gain an understanding of what potential clients and customers, what their needs are. You don't want to oversaturate your business with all these different types of services, all these different types of angles when it comes to your business, and that's not necessarily what your target audience needs, right? As long as you're fulfilling your customers and your clientele, your business will expand, it will grow over time. But if you're providing a lot of filler stuff just to say that you have it within your business and it's not necessarily presents a need for potential clients and customers, over time your business will fail. So just keep that in mind. The other component that you need to worry about is your price point market. You need to develop a price guide that not only puts you in the position that over time through volume, right, you create that residual income, in turn your profit margin would expand and your business will thrive and grow, but also make it affordable for clients and clientele, right, for potential clientele. If your prices are so exuberant and they're so high, a lot of people will be turned off by that by just saying, well, hey, I could just go pay this price and this will do it for me, right? Understand the market and understand the advancement of technology, especially if you're getting in the realm of media. AI is starting to come up now, right? A lot more people are emboldened to do things on their own. There's a lot of sophistication when it comes to these applications that people can utilize, right? So you gotta differentiate yourself from there to show them that yes, you could do this on your own. You could use this application, use these features, and it might come out with exactly what you're looking for within your project. You could utilize AI and it could do it for me, but it's not quite going to give you the professional touch. So that's something that you need to strive for when it comes to your media business, to kind of branch that out there, put that out there, embed it in people's minds that there's a level of professionalism when it comes to your business and what you do as far as your services or the services that you provide. So definitely keep that in mind as far as making it affordable, but also through volume, you can increase your profit margin, right? So let's say from here, once you get an understanding of that, now you want to turn it into how I'm going to format my business, how I'm going to structure my business. What precisely am I going to be offering within my business as far as media is concerned? So only you can answer that. I'm just letting you know I might have bit a little bit more than I could chew when it came with Olympian. As you see, we offer all facets of media. You may not be in position to do that, because if you're going to do all these different types of mediums, you need to be efficient. You need to have a very strong, in-depth understanding of all of these mediums so that you could put out the best possible product, right? So it may be too much from a time restraint. You may not be in the position where you're able to invest that much time or resources within yourself to get an understanding of all these mediums, right? So you have to be honest with yourself as far as what you can handle. So that in turn, you need to get an understanding of, are you going to be running solo, or are you going to be working in the confines of a team as far as where you're putting together your business? Understand, if you are working by yourself, you are a business entity. You are a brand. You don't necessarily have to have a team. It makes it easier if you do. There are headaches involved with that as well, but it does make it easier, especially when that volume of clients are coming in, that you can offset the work between your team members based off their abilities. But if you're doing it by yourself, it is possible for you to do that. So that's another thing you need to keep in mind. The way you're going to license your business, as far as I said this in a past video as well. It was on another episode of Get Things Done. I'll provide that link as well, where I discuss the differences between a sole proprietorship and an LLC. Eventually, you want to incorporate your business. That's the goal. Case in point, an S corp, so forth and so on. So you need to get the understanding of what's a best fit when it comes to your business, as far as how you're going to license it, how you're going to format it, if you're going to be on your own versus being with a team. I suggest if you're being with a team, when you discuss trying to create capital for your business, you got to have capital. Everything takes money, right? From there, you're going to be offsetting that into a budget, and then also offsetting that so that you can keep up with operational expenses just to keep your business afloat. And then clearly you're going to think expansion as far as getting more equipment. You might be in position too when it comes to your venue or where you're going to be setting up your business at. As you see here, we're down here at Ala Studio. This is in the confines of my home. Some people may not have that luxury of doing that, of doing it in their home and setting up their business. It's a great feeling to know that within your home, you could just come into another room, or in this case, we come down 10 steps. We're in the business, we're in the studio, we could go about going to work. You might have to look into getting another venue, some studio space somewhere else. if that is within your budget, I do definitely recommend that. Only because if you're able to get studio space, try to get it in a metropolitan area where you have a lot of foot traffic. The reason for that is free promotion and free advertisement. Because if you have people just traveling constantly through there, you have some nice displays in front of your studio, some signs, some type of billboards, some type of lightings, different types of neon lights, something to advertise and bring attention to your business. That is free promotion that people will kill for. You know? So being in that area, in that metropolitan area where there's a lot of traffic, you have a lot of people coming through, it definitely will help as far as like how you start developing your marketing plan. Because you definitely have to divert some of your capital for marketing, promotion. You got to get the word out. Yes, you could do word of mouth. You could do knocking on people's doors. That works too. But we live in a digital world. We live in a very fast-paced world where people want information very quickly. So you have to keep that in mind as well, especially when it comes to marketing. How quick can you put your business out there from an advertisement standpoint so people can get the understanding of what you got going on when it comes to your business? So let's say if you decide, for example, the way you're going to structure your business, I'm just going to stick with photos and videos. I'm going to be a photographer, videographer. Photos and videos pretty much go hand in hand, right? How can I go about starting my business in a cost-efficient way? Well, if you think about it, most video cameras, DSLR cameras, as you see here, or mirrorless cameras, they offer both them functions of doing photos and videos. Just keep in mind two things. Number one, going back to what I said earlier about research, understand that whatever device that you end up purchasing, in this case the video camera, that the quality and clarity between the photos and videos are the same. You don't want to be in a situation when you buy something, you buy a video camera, and the photos look outstanding, but your videos look like crap. Yeah. You're going to hear a lot of crickets behind you, and you're going to hear a lot of footsteps leaving your shop, because they're not going to invest in your business if the quality and the clarity is not there. You're great at doing photos, but you lack when it comes to the quality of the videos. You're not going to maintain your clientele very long. So make sure whatever you end up purchasing that you get that clarity. Do your research. Going back to cost, understand you get what you pay for. You might be in a situation where, like, you know what, I'm going to go for a little bit more affordable because I want a little bit of flexibility when it comes to my capital, when it comes to my budget. Understand, though, going the cheaper route, your business might suffer long term. Because, again, the quality, the clarity is not there. So remember, you're going to have to put probably that extra dollar to ensure that you have the quality and the clarity. So you may not want to go through the whole rigors of having something separate, one for photos and one for videos. So do yourself a favor and just get yourself a DSLR camera or a mirrorless camera. Mirrorless are a little bit more expensive than a DSLR, so keep that in mind as well. But if it's within your budget to do so, get the best one that's more comfortable for you. You're going to be the one operating it, right? So pick something that you're comfortable, that you got a good understanding for. If you're looking to be a little bit more portable and a little bit on the go, as far as when it comes to your photos and your videos, then I definitely recommend getting yourself a gimbal. And then you can use this in conjunction with your phone, right? So maybe you just want to use your phone strictly for photos, and then you use the gimbal for doing videos, right? So you have your option to do that as well. As you can see, we got multiple types of equipment around. We got the DSL camera with the Canon that has all the different types of attachments. This is what you want to work toward down the road. Once your residual income is coming steady and your profit margin tends to increase over time, this is part of expansion. Is allowing yourself options. You never want to get into too complacent and just using maybe one or two pieces of equipment, because the wear and tear will be there, and you're only going to put yourself in the bind in a situation where you will have to purchase something or upgrade, right? So keep that in mind as well when you're thinking about getting different pieces of equipment. Allow yourself some options. If you're looking for audio, as you know, that's definitely a component, especially when it comes to videos. Again, you may not be in a position to get yourself a full-length audio interface with the boom mic. So again, you do have options. So you might want to get yourself a smaller interface that gives you basic functionality. Usually most smaller audio interfaces does come with two mics. It allows for the 48 volt power to be initiated. And then as you can see here, you can easily adjust the volume. And it allows you to also do playback and record. And these are more cost efficient, and it does the job. Also too, when it comes to like photos and videos, you might want to think about rigging, right? Something to place your equipment on. If you notice down here, this is a more sophisticated rigging. If you're going to do more extensive photos and video, well, primarily with the videoing. And then you have the monitor in the back. You may not be in a position to get something that extensive, right, when it comes to your rigging, where you can actually kill two birds with one stone, as you see here. This is a rigging provided by a company called Movo, M-O-V-O. It's a company I definitely recommend. The great thing about this particular product is that it's a rigging where it allows you to put multiple different types of devices. If you wanted to put a video camera on here or some type of camcorder, but you can also put your phone attached to it as well. If you were looking to take footage, but also take some selfie shots, some behind the scenes shots as you're taking your footage. But the neat thing about this is this comes with a receiver and a transmitter. So it allows you to pick up audio as well. And it has the portable lapel mic with another output to put another mic. So this is the big thing right here of, especially if you're going to be doing a lot of dialogue, a lot of narration within your video. Maybe you're conducting an interview. You're killing two birds with one stone because it allows you to go ahead and get the quality audio that you need, and also the rigging so that you can take your footage and take the perfect shot. And the neat thing about this, for everything that you see here, it only costs $30. And you're still getting the quality, you're still getting the functionality that you need so that you can get the good photos, get the high quality videos. So these are things that just keep in mind. Again, you don't have to knock it out the box and get all these different pieces of equipment, but just do your research and get a really good understanding of what fits you and what's best for your business. In this case, with the photos and with the videos, if that's what you're desiring to do in your media business. If we go around the bend, maybe your media business will entail music production. As you can see here, very extensive over here at Olympian. We got all kinds of different types of musical equipment to allow us to do all kinds of different things. One thing you need to do is you definitely need to get an understanding from a musical side what specifically you're going to be doing with that. If you're going to put it out there for the clients that you can do the entire music production, then you need to truly have an extensive, in-depth understanding of it. Understand clients and customers will expose you in one way, shape, or form. So you don't want to put yourself out there, services that you're willing to provide, products that you're willing to provide, and it doesn't actually do what you claim it does, or that you really have the know-how or the knowledge to do these different things involving with your services. Case in point, you might be able to make an instrumental, right? You might be able to actually create music, but when it comes to, like, let's say mixing vocals, not so much. You know, you have a certain degree of knowledge, but it's not there, especially if a certain client comes and there are specifics that they're looking for when it comes to their vocals. You may not even have the equipment prepared, right, for you to even go ahead and record their vocals, let alone mix it, master it, go through all the stages of production. So quickly, your customer is going, and your clientele is going to expose you, because they're going to put you on the spot, and you can't come through with that because you don't have the know-how, you don't have the setup required for you to properly do that. And then again, you're going to be missing out on clients and customers. Understand, with music production, what I would recommend as far as like trying to get your music studio together, I definitely recommend, as you see here, a workstation keyboard. There's nothing like creating them traditional sounds as you're putting together your music, putting again your instrumentals, your beats. It's also outstanding when it comes to creating like different types of loops, different types of effects that you can incorporate in your production. You can't get away with MIDI though. Most DAWs that you utilize are synchronized with using MIDI technology. So you're going to have to use some type of MIDI controller. As you see here, we have the keyboards. You might want to look into getting something as a hybrid setup, where you actually have the pads that will allow you to do some drum sequencing or some type of a bass line along with the keys. And then you have the ability to scale on multiple channels, and you have your encoders. You also see it here. Or if you're good with finger sequencing, and that's more of your preferred method when it comes to making music, then you can get yourself a standard mix pad and create music as well. You also want to keep in mind what type of mics that you want. As you see over there in the corner, we have the compressed mic that you can utilize through your audio interface, or you can use a condenser mic. And most condenser mics allow you, it has a USB port attached to it where you can connect it right into your computer. So you want to keep in mind on what you prefer. Again, do your research to knowing what's the best fit for you. Also too, with music production, what I will recommend starting off, you want to be in position where you're getting something that provides the software and hardware for you. Again, especially when it comes to music, it gets very expensive. And it could get a little bit of, how can I put it? Like, you start getting a little excited. You might get a little bit ahead of yourself. There's so much different things you can utilize when it comes to music. And you might get a little bit ahead of yourself and beyond your budget by getting all these different types of equipment when essentially you don't need it. Because remember in the beginning what I told you about your target audience. So depending on what clientele you want, they may not necessarily need all these different elements and aspects when it comes to your music, right? So just stay in line with that, and remember, over time, you can build, you can expand. So for you guys out there, I definitely recommend, as you can see here, I talk about it a lot, Native Instrument. Their sound library is incredible, and that's a main component that you need as a music producer. You need a sound library to pull from. Yes, you can make your own samples by yourself, but it's always great to just have one on hand that you can go to very quickly. A Native Instrument has everything on there for you to create instrumentals, different types of soundscapes, different types of scores for films. Everything's included on there. And then they include the hardware with it. As you see here, we have the MIDI keyboard. Then we have the machine for the mix pad. And then they also come out with their own audio interfaces. So again, you're killing two birds with one stone by having this sound library and you having the hardware attached. And you literally, with just these three pieces, can make some really beautiful, outstanding music. And a lot of like different types of soundscapes and cinematic scores. And then as far as the DAW, which is your digital audio workstation, again, trying to be cost efficient, I definitely recommend Cakewalk. You know, we talked about that a lot. All you have to do with Cakewalk is make an account through BandLab, and you can download Cakewalk for free. BandLab also offers a DAW as well, but I think Cakewalk's a little bit more extensive. I think it has more features, more plugins, more things to utilize within your production. It has a full-length soundboard mixer attached to it as well. But BandLab is good too. I'm not saying BandLab is bad, but it gives you that option of either using BandLab or Cakewalk. I also recommend Audacity as well. They just had a major update with them. So now they have incorporated a sound library. They have their own plugins now that you can utilize. Some are for free. Some are you have to pay for. Again, very cost efficient though. It's not very overly expensive. And I definitely recommend them as well. It's free as well. If you're looking to pay though, and you want something very much more extensive as far as all kinds of different types of features and plugins that you can utilize, most go-to for a lot of people are Ableton, which is definitely you can utilize, or use Logic if you're going to be using Mac. The only problem with them two DAWs is just keep in mind there's a lot of overhead as far as the learning curve. There's a lot of things you're going to have to get an understanding for, and it's going to take you a while to really kind of navigate their interface and go about making music. So if you're looking to kind of get in there as quick as possible, I guess you could say, as far as trying to get your business going from a musical standpoint, that may not be apropos for you because the learning curve is very steep when it comes to them type. I do recommend as well PreSonus Studio 1.7. They just had a major upgrade as well. There's a little bit of a learning curve, but not as deep or in depth as Ableton or Logic. Obviously, there's Pro Tools as well. That's depending on your setup and how extensive your setup is. That does take a lot of RAM for processing power. You're definitely going to need a very high capacity hard drive to utilize something like Pro Tools. But my other recommendation would be Reason. Reason is a very good DAW. And the great thing about Reason, you can actually use that DAW as a plugin for another DAW. So if you have something like Cakewalk, you can actually utilize Reason as a plugin and input it into your interface on Cakewalk. So that's the ones I would truly recommend. But again, you do the research, find what works best for you. And then if you're looking more from a digital design or graphic design, clearly you're going to need a digital drawing pad to start you off. So these are pretty much the main components when it comes to that. And as you can see, we have the digital pen. And then it gives you an assortment of different types of tips that you can use depending on your grading. And if you're looking for that, to go down that route, it's a great route to go through. Most people tend to use Canva, for example, which is great, but everything is template based. A lot of other ones, such as Adobe Express, they are starting to utilize AI a little bit more, and people tend to seem like that's a lot more time efficient, just allowing the AI, you put in a few keywords, boom, something comes out. I'm not saying you can't get desired results from that, but again, put yourself in position, maybe as we do here in Olympian, allow yourself that option for your customers that we can re-edit some content. Sometimes relying on these template-based applications or relying on AI, you don't really get the desired results that you want. So put that out there that whatever content or template that is provided by the client, that you are in position to go ahead and re-edit. I know here at Olympian, we talked about it before. We use Clip Paint Studio, and we also use PaintStorm, and it's basically vector drawing. We do pull from some stock libraries from time to time, but we end up putting our own spin on it and doing different things with it and adding different things to it as far as the coloring, the grading, the shape of it, different types of effects, so forth and so on, that we apply to it to make it your own. So remember, it's all about the customer. The customer's always right. It's about their vision. It's not so much about what you personally like or how you want the project to come about. It's really about what the client wants. Right? So it's all about that review, guys. So just real quick reminders to just, if you didn't get anything else from this video, these are the main highlights. Number one, remember about create a logo, a theme, and a basic layout of what your business is going to entail, right? Number two, do extensive research to understand your target audience and your price point market. Understand what type of clients you want. Are you trying to cover all demographics of people? How about you want to break it down into subgroups? Are you looking toward other entrepreneurs, other content creators, local businesses? What is it specifically you want as a clientele? Are you looking for maybe more in the structure of schools, where you're providing more like tutorial style content to help out with schools and universities as far as whatever they're teaching, whatever they got going on? These are all things you need to keep in mind as far as understanding your target audience. And from there, you'll get an understanding of how to create your price guide. So again, you put yourself in position to make money, but also make it affordable so that people keep coming back to you. Number three, develop a format on how the business will be structured. Remember, licensing. What are you going to be? Sole proprietorship or LLC? And then move it into an S Corp. Get your business incorporated at some point. That's the goal, long term. What services are you providing? What is your product development plan? Are you going to be selling products? For a quick example, something that we all set with our music, we operate a musical store online. Alpha Omega, AO48.com. Check it out. Again, I had to put that quick pitch in there. But the point being is, not only do we offer musical services in-house, in studio, but we provide a product by offering digital content that people can check out and purchase, right? And is royalty free. So that's just something to keep in mind. Number four, discover your method to create initial capital. So we touched base on it a little bit. How are you going to go about creating capital so that you can get your business started, right? Remember the moniker, it takes money to make money. So in that regard, are you going to go through different types of loans, business loans, investments from angel investors, or maybe you're going to be utilizing family and friends to help invest? Remember what I said about creating a team? Maybe you're going to ask your team members to put an initial investment into the business to start out. Or you're going to just use secondary income. That goes back to what I was talking about in the beginning. You might actually have a day job and then you're operating your business. You might want to offset your earnings that you make from your day job into creating capital for your business. These are things to keep in mind. From there, you create a budget to cover operating and marketing expenses. This is so crucial, not just to keep your business afloat and operational, but don't overlook the marketing. You got to promote your business, and that takes money. Yes, it takes money. Don't let nobody tell you otherwise. And it's something you can't overlook. If you can't get the message out there about your business, how long you think you're going to survive? At some point in time, you're not really going to be able to create a clientele for yourself because they don't know who you are and they don't know what your business is about. And then last but not least, number 5, remember that paperwork is key for your business, clients, and for expansion. We didn't really touch base on that, but just really quickly, when it comes to paperwork, it's very important to have that in line, starting with your business. You want to have a business plan. We discussed this in the previous video as well. Having a business plan, having an executive summary, having a pitch deck in place for your business that really breaks down all this essential information, the different components regarding your business, the different facets of your business, so that people can get an understanding of it, specifically investors. If you're looking to expand your business, eventually you're going to want to bring some investors along. Having a business plan, executive summary, a pitch deck, these are things what they look for. For your clients, you definitely want to have paperwork in play for your clients so they have an understanding of what their responsibilities are as a client and what your responsibilities are as a service provider. So definitely have some paperwork in line that really breaks down these guidelines and break down specifics on what project that you're working on with them, so that everyone is in accordance with each other, of knowing exactly what needs to be done within that project. And then for expansion, basically going back with the business, just put yourself in position so that you can get the interest of different angel investors, investment firms. You create partnerships with other businesses. These are all things that are vital to allow your startup to thrive. So that's about it. Just wanted to break down to you just some specifics. Hope it wasn't too much, but I hope it was vital, essential information that you needed. Understand, though, this is just part 1, guys. We got a part 2 to this video where I'm going to break down when it comes to the marketing and promotional side of your startup media business. So remember, if you are having a day job and you're operating a business on the side, it is possible, it's doable. You just have to get a really good understanding of things within yourself. Be honest with yourself as far as what your strengths, what you're capable of doing and handling, and what your limitations are. And creating balance in your life. You're definitely going to make sacrifices, especially when it comes to your time. So be prepared for that as well. All right? So this is part 1, guys. Look forward for part 2.